one on the left forward.
Great. Well, thank you for having us here today. We really did want to bring the idea of, or the concept of mindfulness, not just to the students, but to our whole learning community. Jill Loger-Oman, Aneen Crystal, who's at Baldwin now, and Joyce Ann Peipenbring, who's our reading specialist at Cox. We got together as a team before we were awarded the grant to really see, we were interested in seeing the benefits of mindfulness in the classroom. And the research that we read shared that through mindfulness techniques, you might be able to increase student focus, resilience, empathy, which is something that's come up in some of these projects, and they say attention and focus. I believe so. So we proposed this to the GFFE, and they awarded us. Two of us were given funds to go through a program and be trained mindfulness educators. So we did. Oh, and then we shared with our team just the coursework that we were doing and techniques with our team, mainly breathing practices, but also different attention focusing techniques. We shared this with our team, and then we brought this to our professional learning community through PD. And then later on in the school year, we brought some of these practices in the classroom, and also through assemblies, we brought it full school. This is one of the impacts that we've had in the classroom and with students. This is a class of 4th graders and 1st graders sharing their experiences with practicing mindful techniques. This was a class of breathing. And I remember one of the students shared after just practicing taking in a breath and releasing, sharing his experience, saying that he felt gentle. I thought that was such an interesting comment. And I think one of the big things in this kind of environment is that all of us are non-judgmental and so open to the experiences of one another and so interested. So that 1st grader shared that with 4th graders, but 4th graders who were getting ready to move on to Baldwin were so excited that these kinds of practices can help them zone into their schoolwork and calm down when they need to, as one of the new 5th graders said, really harness his energy and really be able to be aware of when he's feeling really energetic, when can he apply it, you know. So it just promotes reflection and awareness, and those kids are just really interested in hearing.
And as Maya said, I think, although this looks like a perfect class sitting there so quietly, some of the work that I do with students, it's not always that perfect, but I think when we think about mindfulness and our work with our students and our teachers, it's about a non-judgmental practice. However you breathe, whatever makes sense in your way, that's your practice, and that's what we want to teach. And that's been really successful for kids because it is non-judgmental. Sometimes when I'm breathing with kids, they might be sitting on the floor, they might be spinning in the chair, but over time, they're finding a way to create a practice for themselves to breathe and find calm. And I think that's all of what we learned. And as you see in that, if you could get a group of students to do that in a way that feels non-threatening and comfortable, that's awesome.
And
Sorry.
it's okay. Just before we move on, thinking about how the practices, we've done this for about 2 years now. And it doesn't take a whole day of mindful techniques, but it could just be something, a really quick practice in the morning that you can infuse throughout your day. And my 4th graders call that 3:15 time that you might come visit us sometime, Dr. Freeman, the witching hour. And we were feeling a little energetic at the end of the day today. And one of my students said, yeah, to another friend who was seeming to be very amped up, this is our witching hour. And something I do is to breathe so I can calm myself. And it just provides students tools to share with one another strategies that they use, right? And say it in a kind, caring, and open way. Not, oh, someone's just distracting me now. But here's something you can do to just keep on.
So as some of our work, as we worked with teachers and we worked with our whole school community, we did lots of different things. We did several campaigns. We did a compassion campaign, a kindness campaign, and a gratitude campaign. With each campaign, they might have been a month long, and we provided teachers with a calendar on Google Calendar or through Google Docs, and had a Google Classroom. It was an interactive classroom that teachers could access. But really what our expectation was that teachers would create a practice every day, and we had a different practice every day. Sometimes it was breathing, sometimes it was a mindful walk. It was 1 or 2 minutes. And it gave teachers exposure to many different practices throughout those months. So it gave teachers exposure, gave our children exposure, so people held on to what made sense to them. And up here you'll see is a whole school community as part of the Compassion Challenge in the second slide over there. And on the left are just our happy kids because they found calm.
A lot of these activities that we structured for the teachers, like this year at Convocation, we read Each Kindness, and what a nice springboard for us to use with the kindness work that we wanted to do in our classroom. And we could have those conversations. We have kids having conversations with kids, and it's really, you know, as we're focusing as teachers on these high performance skills, students are really in this environment of non-judgmental, you know, awareness, really sharing their ideas in an open-hearted and open-minded way. And a lot of these activities that we gave for teachers just gave us pause to really see what was important for kids. And they really want to connect with one another, so what activities could we give them?
I think when we think about what we have done for teachers, it's once we take care of ourselves, we're going to take care of the children around us. Once our teachers found a way to take care of themselves, they took care of the children around them. And those children then went home with practices, and that's how we got the rest of our school community involved.
So we also were given the opportunity to meet with the PTO and share our experiences with the PTO and see how we could provide just a larger reach for this program. Dr. Freeman was there. I think Mrs. Cohen might have been there. We all practiced the silent sigh together, which is an effective breathing technique to bring us calm and sense of ease. But the PTO said that we could offer programs for parents and children, which we did, and right after school, we invited parents and children into the classroom to give them some mindfulness techniques to practice during the week, and then come back and discuss them. So we had a wide range of kindergartners through fourth graders, siblings and parents, and it was just a really nice environment to have that discussion and not have, have to hit a certain response or an A+, but just everybody sharing in their experience together.
And again, that created this non-judgment zone within our families, within our children. So even the children we may have been working with, they're in this environment. It's a very different environment. And however they chose to take on this practice and learn the practice was very unique to them. And to allow them to do that was really interesting. And to model for families that that's how your son is going to breathe, and that's how your daughter is going to create the practice, and that's okay. And that they don't have to be sitting down in a chair with their feet on the floor. And, you know, over time, they're going to create a practice that helps them to find calm. And Dr. Freeman's quoted up there because he was in a position where he was feeling a little pressure, and he helped out his wife.
So thank you. So it has this grant has really afforded us the opportunities to reach so many, not just the children in our classroom, but techniques that they're sharing with their families and in the community at large. So for our final thoughts, I don't know, that wasn't very mindful, but that's okay.
Did I do that?
Oh, well, geez. I'm just going to keep going. We continue, even though the two-year time span for our grant has ended, we continue to offer mindful practices in the morning before school starts for teachers. We have PD that we offer.
We had a book club over the summer that was awesome. Not only our staff was available to do that, but we opened it up to other Guilford Public School employees. So we read 2 books over the summer and really got a chance to chat about that in an environment right outside of the school.
And let's see, we're going to be developing a webpage for resources for the Guilford Public School community. So it's just been a really wonderful experience.
And so many people have reached out to us from other schools, so we've made our resources available to them, invited them to come into our school, and invited them to share in our Google Classroom that we've created as well. It's been just an awesome experience. It started with us as teachers wanting to learn more about it for ourselves, and it just has, created this great community that we've created at Cox and within our district. So thank you.
Thank you.